Welcome to the deep dive. Today, well, we're shifting gears a bit. We're stepping away from the usual data, the stats, the logistics,
Right.
and instead we're diving straight into human emotion,
Mm.
pure feeling.
Yeah.
Our focus is the animal shelter, but not maybe how you usually think about it, not the institution.
No, not at all. We're looking at it as this crucible of feeling.
Yeah.
And everything we're drawing on today, it comes from personal stories, reflections, very intimate stuff.
Exactly. No spreadsheets today.
No spreadsheets. And that's really the point of this deep dive, isn't it? We want to kind of give you a shortcut into the emotional landscape of these places.
A shortcut, I like that.
Yeah, because we're not counting cages or, adoption statistics. We're digging into the language people use. Really specific, evocative words.
Okay.
People who are right there living it. And it shows this profound human-animal bond right at its rawest.
And the sources we looked at, they throw you right in, the sensory hit when you first walk in.
Oh, immediately.
Yeah, they talk about feeling like submerged. One description was like stepping into an ocean of eyes.
Wow, an ocean of eyes. That's powerful.
Isn't it? You're just instantly faced with all these gazes. And what struck me was how they broke it down. Some eyes are hopeful, some look totally broken, but all of them, they seem to be asking this one thing: do you see me?
And that image, that ocean of eyes, it just cuts through any kind of, clinical detachment you might have about a shelter.
Totally.
It's this immediate, almost overwhelming demand. See me. Recognize me.
Yeah.
And the sources, they really hammer this point home. These places aren't just animals in cages. That's how people sometimes coldly put it.
Right. The reality is different.
Very different. They're described as places where you can almost feel the animal stories. Like the stories themselves are pressing against the air.
That phrase, pressing against the air, I found that framing really fascinating. It shifts the whole thing, doesn't it? It's not just a logistical problem to solve anymore. It becomes this narrative space. It demands you acknowledge you're walking amongst these damaged, unfinished stories.
Exactly. Like a library, but all the books, our biographies, got short or paused.
Yeah.
And to get that feeling across, the sources use these really striking analogies, almost painful, some of them, describing the animal's inner worlds. It's like analysis, but through poetry.
Okay, so let's unpack one of those. You mentioned the sounds earlier. The dog's whimper. It wasn't just, oh, sad noise.
No, much more specific.
It was described as sounding like a song that no one's finished.
Right.
Why that? What's the weight behind that specific metaphor?
Well, think about it. An unfinished song. It speaks to lost potential, doesn't it?
Right? Something incomplete.
Yeah, a whimper is just distress, maybe. But an unfinished song implies, well, maybe a composer who walked away, or it got cut off suddenly. A life story break in mid-sentence. So it's not just about sadness now. It's about the future that was stolen. And the person hearing it, the human in the shelter, is almost being asked, can you finish the song? Can you pick up the tune?
So it forces you to think about the life that should have been, not just the state the animal is in right now. That definitely digs deeper emotionally.
It really does. And you see that same depth with the story of the old gray cat. The person writing just sits with her.
Right.
And the description of her purr, it's almost hard to read. It's like a trembling violin string.
A trembling violin string, described as fragile but fighting. That contrast feels key, right? Fragile but fighting.
It is key. It connects the animal's physical vulnerability to something we all recognize, that shared feeling. That purr, it's tiny, it's vibrating, it's an act of resistance.
Wow.
It's fragile, sure, but the fighting part, I think the sources are trying to show these animals still have agency. They're not just passive victims. They're choosing hope even then.
And that moment, witnessing that tiny fighting purr, that's framed as the moment of realization, seeing how much love she had left to give.
Yes.
And the person concludes that this raw, intimate moment, it made them feel the most human they'd ever felt.
And that's really the core insight here, I think. The sources seem to argue that these shelter moments are peak humanity because they strip everything else away.
All the noise.
All the noise.
Yeah.
And you're just face to face with pure need and pure love. Our ability to feel is mirrored, maybe even surpassed, by theirs.
Okay, but dealing with that ocean of eyes, those heavy stories, day in, day out, that sounds emotionally crushing. How do people cope? How do the volunteers, the staff, find any relief in all that sadness?
Well, the sources suggest they zoom in. They have to. The big picture, the sheer scale of it, is too much.
Right.
So survival, emotional survival, depends on Noticing and really valuing the tiny moments. The micro connections, the little sparks of trust.
Those are the things that cut through.
Exactly. Those are the breakthroughs in that emotional storm.
Let's talk about those tactile moments, because they feel central. They're not stats, they're real. The source mentions the feeling when a puppy presses its tiny paw against your palm.
Such a small thing.
Tiny, but loaded with meaning.
Well, what's fascinating is the likely intentionality. A paw and a palm, it's probably not an accident.
You think?
I think the interpretation is that it's deliberate, an offering, a choice, an attempt to bridge the gap. The animal saying, okay, I'll connect with you, despite everything. A little truce.
A truce. I like that. Then there's that other instance where time just disappears, just vanishes. Because a really scared dog, maybe one nobody could touch for weeks, finally dares to lean against your leg.
That moment, that's huge. Because it's a physical surrender, isn't it?
Completely.
The way the sources interpret it is the dog basically saying, okay, I trust you.
Okay.
And that trust, freely given by something so vulnerable, that's the anchor. That keeps the humans going.
So connecting that back, it really shows the paradox here. The sources are honest. They say the experience hurts.
That is.
You take those faces home in your head. It's draining. So why keep doing it? Why go back into that?
Because those moments of trust, the paw on the palm, the lean against the leg, as much as the whole situation hurts, those moments are these critical gut-level reminders that love is still possible. Always.
Yeah.
The pain is maybe the price of admission, the emotional cost of witnessing pure trust bloom after trauma. It proves connection isn't dead.
Okay, that makes sense. Which brings us to the place itself, the building,
Right.
the shelter.
Right. The physical space.
And there's tension there, too. The sources admit walking in feels heavy, like walking into a storm of sadness.
You feel the weight.
But then they immediately push back on that. They redefine the shelter.
They do. They argue that despite that heavy feeling, shelters are less like buildings and more like sanctuaries for hope.
Okay, storm of sadness versus sanctuary for hope. How do those two things exist in the same space? How do they reconcile that?
Well, the tension is the point, maybe. The sanctuary is a place of refuge, right? Safety.
Yeah.
So if an animal finds refuge from the storm of their past inside the emotional storm of the shelter, then the shelter is acting as a sanctuary. The sadness and the joy, they don't cancel out.
They coexist.
They sit side by side, holding hands. That's how one source put it. Beautifully, I think.
Wow.
And that extreme contrast, that tension, it means every small good thing, a tail wag, a nose nudge, feels massive. Like sunlight cuts through the clouds. The joy gets amplified against the dark background.
So the sadness doesn't define it. The fact that hope has to fight so hard to even exist there, that's what defines it. And that makes the wins feel huge.
Exactly. Which leads us perfectly to the climax of the whole narrative. Adoption.
The moment everyone's working towards.
Right. And for the people deeply invested, emotionally invested, every single adoption feels like a miracle. Nothing less.
And there's that one specific story they share, watching a family take home this really shy, trembling mutt.
Yes, I remember that one.
It's a simple scene, right? Paperwork, clipping on the leash, the door closes.
Mundane, almost.
But the reaction described inside the person watching, it's explosive.
That word choice, explosion. It's not just gentle relief, is it? It's violent, overwhelming.
So is the idea that the relief is just proportional to the massive emotional weight everyone's been carrying for that animal?
I think that's exactly it. Feeling an explosion in the chest when that door closes.
Yeah.
It's the release. All the worry, the hope, the fear it wouldn't happen, the sheer exhaustion of carrying so much.
Right.
It's pure exhilaration, but mixed with this profound sense of, okay, we did it. This story has a happy ending.
And the interpretation that follows that feeling, it shows just how high the stakes feel. The person didn't just feel happy for the dog. They felt in that moment like the whole world had been.
Stitched back together, one tiny thread of love at a time.
One tiny thread.
That frames adoption as so much more than just finding a home for one animal. It's symbolic. It's like repairing the fabric of things. Proving kindness can still win. It makes an administrative task feel like this profound moral act.
Okay. So stepping back from all these intense details, these stories, what's the big takeaway? What's the theme for us listening to this?
Well, I think the overarching theme is pretty clear, actually. Shelters, ultimately, they're not just about the animals.
They're about
us.
Our capacity to care, right? Our capacity to feel deeply, to break, and then, crucially, to heal again with them.
Yeah.
The sources basically use the shelter like a mirror, or maybe a magnifying glass, showing us our own humanity, our best parts, and our most vulnerable parts. Every metaphor, every moment of trust. It's all pointing back to the persistence of love and its reciprocal nature.
So if you're listening right now and you feel that tug in your chest we talked about,
Yeah, a mix of sadness and hope.
the sources have a pretty clear message. Follow that feeling. Go visit a shelter. You don't have to adopt, just go. Look into that ocean of eyes.
Maybe let a tiny paw press against your palm.
Yeah, because the promise is, your heart will never be the same. And that leads us to the final thought, the real kicker from the source material, a question that flips the whole script on rescue.
Okay.
Consider this reversal.
Because maybe we're not rescuing them.
Maybe
Oh,
you're
yeah.
rescuing us. Just sit with that for a moment. Think about what that means, that reciprocity. What is an animal granting trust back to a human despite everything?
Huh.
What does that give back to us?
In terms of purpose, maybe? Healing? It really asks you to think. Who's actually doing the saving here?